Hey, this is Frank. I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to need to go back a number of decades to when I was in my martial arts years, and the first full contact fight that we were putting on was a 5-rounder, and my opponent was about 210. I weighed about 160, which is put me at a pretty good disadvantage already. I had a pretty good amount of experience, and I was fast and very agile. And he had some boxing experience and a lot bigger than I was. But we went at it, and for about 4 rounds, it was going pretty good until I, kicked the guy with my best kick in the face, and he didn't go down. And of course, he pounded away on me also. And a little while later, I hit him with a spinning heel kick across the side of the head, and he still didn't go down. Shortly into that last round, I went down. I don't know what he got me with, but he got me, and it knocked me out cold. Never saw which one it was. So I woke up with the smelling salts, and talk about eating humble pie. That's a very old expression, but it was like, man, I got to change something. So I knew right then, you could say when my eyes got closed, my eyes got opened. I knew I wasn't strong enough to put the big boy down. So that started my journey and my search for ways to get stronger. And over the years, I started transitioning from martial arts training to strength training, strength and fitness, strength and conditioning. And that had been quite a journey. So since those early years, we're looking several decades back. I was always trying to find better ways to get stronger, to develop more stopping power, being able to handle tough situations in a better way. I had always developed quite a bit of working man strength. I did a lot of manual labor growing up, and a lot of construction work, truck driving, unloading freight cars and trucks, and all kind of carrying or moving or lifting heavy stuff day after day after day on the job. So I had a lot of the working man strength and the attitude that went with it. Plus, as I said, I had the martial arts background, but I just wasn't strong enough. So we move forward. We go back, probably to the early 2000s, around 2003. I discovered kettlebells. And I immediately saw the application of kettlebells for martial arts. So I started working with them, learning about them, everything I could, and I got to start using kettlebells, which I really like. And which was also about the time I ran into a former Spetsnaz operator who had moved to America after the Soviet Union collapsed, who was running a Systema school in town called the Russian Combat Academy. So I went in there, I started training with them for a few months, and wow, just incredible. What a difference. These guys don't mess around. They're not competition fighters. They're either going to train for combat or police work. And the combat application is called short work. That means you make short work of your enemy and move on to the next one. So I learned some interesting things about how they train body weight, and later on how they train kettlebells. So it was starting to help me build my arsenal for developing real world strength and real world conditioning for tough situations. So as we move forward from there, the next year, no, actually it might have been later the same year, I discovered CrossFit. Now we're talking 2004. CrossFit was virtually unknown, and in fact one of the guys from the Russian Combat Academy had asked me if I'd ever heard of it, and I said no, I had no clue, never heard of it at all. So he gave me a website. I started going over there and checking it out. I saw something in it that really had potential, so I flew out to California to the original CrossFit box and learned directly from Coach Glassman out there in Santa Cruz. So we opened our affiliate, and the 35th CrossFit affiliate in the world, which we kept running for the next 12 years. So, but also around the same year, I had discovered several other major influences in my life. One, of course, was Zach Evanish, and still a mentor of mine to this day. Bud Jeffries, likewise, and Jed Johnson. And those were the other main influences in my life at that time. And they still are. They still are. So we move forward to 2016 is when the first thing I'd ever seen on, let me back up. Going back about, I'm trying to remember the year I got the book. Probably 2010, there around, I got a hold of Scott Sonnen's book, Circular Strength, about training with club bells, and it was really interesting. I read it, but it didn't it didn't register, and it just wasn't the time. So it really didn't take root in my brain, so to speak. We moved forward another number of years into 2016. I was watching Dave Hall, Chip Conrad doing a product review for something called the ADEX Steel Club. I had never seen one before, never heard of one. You know, I've heard of club bell before, but not ADEX. I really liked the idea of it, so I typed in the comments there that I need to get an ADEX club. Well, unbeknownst to me, Donnie Giaffredino, the founder of ADEX, was also watching, so he typed in the comments that I have clubs, talk to me, basically. So that was the beginning. Donnie came up to my gym in January 2016, put on a free workshop, and I was hooked. Then Donnie came back again, did another free workshop a few months later, and I had more people there. People were pretty turned on by the idea, pretty excited. They liked the idea. Once they got their hand on the maces and clubs, it's like when you get a mace or club in your hand the first time, it'll get your attention, especially when you figure out it feels way heavier than it actually is. So we kept on from there, and what I did was drawing on my previous martial arts experience and previous military experience, plus what I've learned from notable coaches like Zach Evanish, Bud Jeffries, Jed Johnson, and back also I want to give a shout out to Rich Lansky, who was the first person to teach me Olympic weightlifting. All these guys just fed so much information into me over the years that I just really kind of crystallized it down into a workable format, and we opened my gym, The Cave, in 2010, and our method was called the Cave Strong Method. And we started training people. It was getting good results, and to this day it still does. I slowly started incorporating the ADEX equipment into our warm-ups so that people get familiar with it a little bit as I was learning. I'm learning on the fly, so to speak. And they liked it. The athletes liked it. They were more interested, and they wanted to learn more about them. So I got more equipment from Donnie, and we started putting more of it, the ADEX exercises, into our conditioning and accessory work at the end of our main workout. So if we're doing our, our farmer's walks, or frame carries, or keg work, strongman logs, and all that stuff, or powerlifting, and then we do the ADEX club exercise at the end, or maces, and it took root. People loved it. So we eventually started forming standalone workouts, which we call Mace Fit. Maces and clubs only. So we've run that now for a number of years, and Mace Fit has been just gaining in popularity. People really love it. It covers many aspects of strength and fitness. Many. In fact, I recommend you go to our website, macefit.com, and check it out. And you can also buy your ADEX maces and clubs there too. Just click on the shop tab and you can go get them. So that's a brief overview of how we got to where we are now. We started a certification procedure about 2 years ago. We have 18 certified coaches. 2 of them are on my leadership team that helped me develop, get everything rolling with the certifications, and 16 other coaches. We have 5 licensed affiliates, and we have more coaches coming on, another 4 or 5 coaches coming on in the very near future. So things are moving on well. Mace Fit is on a roll. We tend to keep it that way, God willing. So remember, when things look to be at their worst, like when I got knocked out cold, I woke up to the reality of what I needed to do next and took action. Out for now.